Hello.
Hello, Antti. You are a philosophical practitioner here in Finland. In fact, you were the first one, and you have been practicing for many years here. And in addition, you are also a child psychiatrist, and you do solution focused psychotherapy. So obviously, you have different feet in different areas. And I wonder, what is philosophical about philosophical practice, your philosophical counseling, and more specifically, what kind of materials, philosophical materials, you bring into your counseling from the traditional side of philosophy?
Yes. Well, one starting point will be my MD PhD dissertation from 2001, where I studied this ability to change perspectives, change the point of view. And I discovered that actually it was discovered by philosophers in ancient Stoics especially, and I studied Epictetus. And I discovered that almost all psychotherapy schools use some form of this. They call it reframing. And actually they stolen it from philosophers. And now it's their own. But the main idea is that when you speak about something, client's problems, for example, in new words, new concepts, then the client's situation looks different, and he might start new things or see things differently. Part of this research team in Helsinki that studied depression in 1990s. We had a team who saw clients, and they all had depression. They were comparing psychoanalytic and long psychoanalytic, short psychoanalytic, and solution focused therapy, and we gave this solution focused approach. And we by that time there came this evidence-based practice recommendation how to treat depression in Finland. And we wondered, this is so negative view of depression. It's always, you have to get rid of it fast, with medicine and like that. And we thought, is there no positive side in depression? And I looked at the philosophers' views and found very many references for this positive side. And so we wrote the article, Depression as a Crossroads in Life. And there's this idea that when you cannot continue in your former road, you have to stop at the crossroads and start reflecting what to do with your life and how your projects are going to be, since you have perhaps lost someone or you have lost your goal or something. You have to reconsider everything, every project, and it might take a year or something, but still it's wise to stop and think. And this has been very respectful for the clients, and many psychiatrists and psychotherapists are using this article now, and many clients find it very relieving, because it respects they're finding their authentic self in this situation.
Yeah. So this is an example of reframing.
Yes.
That it's not just a problem, it's not just a sickness, but it's a call. It's really a call to re-examine where you're going.
Yes. It's most philosophical time in people's lives often, when they have to reflect and reconsider things. Yes, and another theme that I use in my practice comes from ancient philosophy also. And it started when I took part in this team that made a television program about happiness in Helsinki. And I was part of the team that designed a web survey, and where 100,000 Finns answered our questions about happiness. But I wrote a book, it's called The Skills of Happiness, Onnentaidot, where I, for example, give 14 practical exercises how you can increase your happiness.
Okay.
But there's this philosophical reflection, what happiness actually is. And I studied the philosophers' views about this. And it's very important to make this one distinction, that the positive psychologists nowadays are talking about happiness. So they mean this feeling, or this subjective thing. It's quite narrow version of the thing, but there's always this larger concept of eudaimonia, which comes from Aristotle, and it's flourishing, and it's about when your whole life is going well. And it involves projects that might not be so make you so much smile, but you have to suffer something when you study, for example, or develop your social networks and that kind of thing. And the philosophers have always recommended that you should strive for this eudaimonia thing when the whole life is going well, and not so much in this narrow thing. And they even said that when you live by the virtues and you reach this eudaimonia, then you get, as a bonus, you get this good feeling also.
But that's only a bonus.
Yes. So that's not the main thing that you focus. But there are some people who can't get this bonus because they have wrong attitudes, for example, pessimistic attitudes, or regrets from they cannot forgive what other people have done. So they're sort of stuck with it, even though they live very well. So now this new study of happiness have found that also the subjective side is very important, because it gives you sort of energy to accomplish the eudaimonia projects, and even 10 years more life. And now with clients who are, for example, who use substance abuse things and alcohol, so I might talk about this distinction, and they have been striving for the good life as they understand it, but it's the narrow one. They try to get fast these good feelings, and they have not understood that there is this eudaimonia that they should strive for instead.
Very interesting. So the first example was that of reframing, especially in the case of depression, and now you're giving another example where you use the wisdom of the philosophical tradition of the notion of happiness. It's more complex than just feeling good at the moment.
Yes. Yeah. And this relates to how Aristotle saw the virtue of phronesis, which has interested me a lot in recent years, where you sort of steer your whole life, but you have to have this vision of good life that you want to accomplish, and all your decisions today needs to take account how you see the good life. And the phronesis idea is practical wisdom, which you can collect from life's experience, and then you can make wise decisions in everyday things.
Would it be correct to say that in a way you are trying to make people wiser, that they relate to life in a more complex, multifaceted way?
Yes, to get them reflect more about their decisions. And as I see the solution-focused approach actually as a cultivation of furnaces, very much, because there we try to clarify the good life vision that people have, and then talk about the specifics, how to reach.
Right. So far, you told us of several concepts from the history of philosophy that you are applying to enrich the person's reflection on life. Are any other concept that you use in your work?
I would like to mention this. It's perhaps more from contemporary philosophy, but I think it's very important in counseling work. Very many people seem to have regrets or even hatred because of what they have experienced in the past.
Hatred to themselves?
And especially to people who have done the wrong things and they can't forgive. And this problem of forgiveness has come over and over in my teaching and with clients. And it seems that many people don't understand what this forgiveness really is, because if someone has done you wrong, they think that if I would forgive him, he would get away with it, and that's not possible. So we first have to talk about what forgiveness is not. It's not forgetting. It's not just letting it pass or that kind of thing. And then I studied from this happiness book different conceptions what it really is. And there's these happiness groups in the United States nowadays where they try to learn this art of giving. And there seems to be one thing in common there. One step that they all have to go through. And it's like, it's about this, they have to admit that everyone is human. And the concept of human includes they're not perfect. So I might start with a client who is very hateful, and I said, do you know fathers and mothers are not perfect? What? and it applies to them, and their children are not perfect. And you need to start to learn this, and then you can start to learn forgiveness. And we know from a Finnish survey that it comes with old age, that you are more able to forgive. And that's one explanation why happiness increases with old age.
People have bad feelings about their parents.
Yes, and I might tell them that nobody promised that your parents would be perfect. Did they? And this, oh really, no.
What happens then?
But they expect. It's the expectation of young people, and it stays, for many it stays for the old age. They should have been perfect. Why not?
Okay, that's very interesting how you use philosophical ideas, in this case forgiveness, to make a difference to people's life.
I try, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.